Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Dave Bautista. Listen, I'm not a big fan of muscle mass lost or losing weight. Quite clearly, Mr. Bautista, or should I say Mrs. Bautista, is now adopting a pearl necklace and lesbian clothes. So ladies and gentlemen, my second video of today, and I thought I'd bring you some good news where Western video gaming is concerned, because Space Marine 2 is doing absolute gangbusters when it comes to, oh, I don't know, a video game that people actually want to play absolutely desperately.
If you like action games, if you're a fan of the Warhammer franchise, if you just like amazing games, this is the title for you.
So we'll get into this article from IGN. Obviously, it's on other outlets as well. I think Polygon and Game Radar or Games Radar are covering this. But when you see this article, it gives me hope for a Space Marine 3, as long as any other ideology isn't allowed to affect or infect this game series. It should be pretty awesome, actually. It's kind of speaking for the masses out there who just want to play a very good video game, but we're just worried now that every time there's a new release on the horizon in the West, you know it's going to be absolute dog shit. Well, in most cases.
Her voice may be almost as important to gamers as Lara's double pistols, curves and skimpy shorts.
Kung Fu Hot Dog is a Kung Fu renegade cop. Now he must defeat the most evil Kung Fu master in the world.
For a modern gaming audience.
For a new world of unspeakable adventures.
I said, Mummy, I like the way the lady runs.
Get ready for a new world of unspeakable adventures, never before shown in a motion picture. Get ready for Kung Fu Hot Dog.
Snake. Snake.
Right?
So courtesy of Kat Bailey at IGN, former id Software execs, Space Marine 2 is selling faster than any of their other games, including Doom and Quake, which is incredible. Now, the new Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2 game is already boasting 2 million players online in less than a week. That is insane. It was off to a great start. Now, to be honest, and to be fair to this article from Ms. Kat Bailey, I thought this game would probably stumble out of the starting blocks because Ashley Cooper, the previous writer on this game, was talking about cis white men, how we need to defund the police in America, and then for some odd reason, she got removed from Saber Interactive. I wonder why that is. Now, Saber Interactive CEO Tim Willits, now this is the guy who's one of the original godfathers of id Software, and one of the guys behind Rage from 2011, which came out in my birth month of October, which is why I've got a very soft sweet spot for that particular game, who served as studio director at id Software until 2019. And he's claiming that Space Marine 2 is selling many of the games in id's famed franchises. He's backed up by former CEO Todd Hollinshead, who departed id Software in 2013 and currently works with Willits at Saber. So already what I get from this is that at the moment at least, Space Marine, the franchise, is in very capable, based, good hands. I've always liked Tim Willits, actually. He's on that making of Rage, a disc I showed you a few months ago, and he always talks very passionately about the video games he plays. If you check out his videos for Doom 2016, the guy's absolutely having a riot when he just talks about the mechanics, the gameplay, which is what we're missing today in video games in the West, folks. It's all about ideology and why only certain people should play it, and why we have to represent underrepresented, marginalized groups, which is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard when it comes to your favorite hobby. One way or another, which sounds like a Blondie song, so Space Marine 2 is doing well for itself, buoyed by strong reviews and player sentiment. We recently called it an Xbox 360 shooter in the best possible way, writing in our review, Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2 is a terrific third-person shooter with a compelling story, loads of weapons that are a blast to use. Do you get it? And a healthy variety of enemies to use them on. It once again borrows many of its ideas from the Gears of War series, which is true, and why shouldn't it? As long as it's not ripping them off, it doesn't matter. But they're good ideas, and Space Marine 2 does a fine job of making them its own. Very, very good point. And while the Operations PvE mode that accompanies it doesn't currently offer enough to keep me coming back, the deep customization options for your Space Marine do look promising. They gave it an 8 out of 10. That's very impressive. I thought they would give it less, but that, you know, from what people are telling me, this is actually a 9 or even possibly a 10 out of 10 for a game that nobody had any high expectations for, which is impressive. Now on Metacritic, this is what it currently stands at. A generally favorable reviews at 83 and an audience score of 7.9, which is really awesome. IGN Portugal gave it an 80, PC Invasion a 90, V Games 85, V Barbarian a 10, Talion Swift, you get it because of the insufferable singer, 10, Firmin Black, oh, is that far? Oh, right, they don't simply, why don't they, oh, hang on a minute. The environment is simply amazing and stunning, but the gameplay is too repetitive and boring after a few hours. There are no exciting things through the game. Jesus, Firmin Black. Oh my god. That review there is absolutely weird because when it says to read more, I don't even know if they're verified. This review is absolutely weird because I've looked up Firmin Black and I can't find any trace of them online. It's bizarre. And they've given this a 5 out of 10 score. I would obviously disregard that review because this person obviously has a problem with repetitive gameplay. Helldivers 2 was repetitive. Who moaned about that? Well, except the activists who wanted pride flags in the game. Oopsie doopsie, what a shame. So it's really good news actually to see that something like Space Marine 2, very toxic, very male. You do have the odd female characters in the game as well who look decent, not stunningly attractive, but it is the Warhammer 40K grimdark universe, so I would expect nothing less except for my insane AI creations when I get to cuddle a very large but very bosomy cosplaying woman who likes to dress up as a 40k female space marine. And on that one, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this video today, leave a like below, smash that subscribe button, and if I were you, and if you were me, you should return for the next video.
So you played Space Marine 2. It's more important to say Space Marine 2. The game is done. You know, it will come out on September 9th. We're very excited about it. And this game takes place about 200 years after the events of the original Space Marine. But if you have never played the original, don't worry about it. We got you covered. You know, if you like action games, if you're a fan of the Warhammer franchise, if you just like amazing games, this is the title for you.
Thank you.